We are starting a new campaign today. It is the Saga of Stonegate. Stonegate is a village in the middle of a grand duchy. The history behind Stonegate is that there used to be two duchies that were next to each other that attacked each other, and there were lots of battles and wars. And eventually, about 40 years ago, the two rulers of the duchies decided, this is stupid. We're getting lots of people killed this way. We're going to marry our son and daughter to each other, make one big grand duchy, and be done with it. And so they did. And so Stonegate was kind of left alone, where it used to be a very important martial stronghold, and there was a castle there. Now it is just a kind of a pastoral village. There's lots of sheep, there's carpentry, it's known for its meads and its berry tarts, and there is still a crumbling castle that is kind of up on the top of the hill. Our characters are people who live in the village at this point, and we're going to start to my left, and we're going to let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, my name is Jody, and I'm playing Saga of Stonegate. I'm an artificer specializing in baking.
Hi, I'm Larissa, and I will be playing Arlen Cadmus. She is a Water Genasi Draconic sorceress. She really enjoys service industry work.
I'm Tim, and I'm playing as Holt Argan, who is a halfling druid. He has a healthy fear of heights.
I'm Kylan, playing Avrael Arcath. I'm a Serpent Blood rogue, going to be multiclassing into Paladin.
I'm Chuck. I'm playing Elias Blaze. I'm a setter bard, and I like to play music and have fun.
I'm Trevor, going to be playing Jethro, the Goliath Barbarian. I'm just the local woodsman.
So now you have our dramatis persona, and where are each of you starting off this, I guess, first day of the campaign? You've been living in the village for a long time, so where are you all starting your day?
I'm starting at home in the kitchen. I'm baking up some tarts and some like little sweet drinks, maybe some cookies, and each one of these things I'm infusing love, aka healing, into them.
Arlen is at the local inn where she works. And
The Screaming Wyvern Inn.
Yeah, Screaming Wyvern Inn, and she is doing prep work for today's, getting ready for the lunch rush. Getting glasses cleaned and put up and, prepping whatever is going to be served.
Holt works as a shepherd for his job, and I'll be tending the sheep.
Avrael is starting at the jailhouse, but not for what you think. He's actually a mercenary veteran who kind of helps the local sheriff and jailer out with whatever they need help with.
Blaze is at the Screaming Wyvern, and he's trying to figure out how to rhyme orange with anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
It's a lofty task.
Yeah, it is.
Jethro will be heading off to the woods. If I have any intention of doing anything for fun later on, I better get my work done now.
Right, sounds good. All right, so let's start with Screaming Wyvern Inn. There's a couple of you are there. All right, so you're doing prep work. You're probably in the kitchen helping, let's see, Trim Brushgather, who is the wife of the tavern owner, Ander. Ander is out in the front room making sure the tables and chairs are all in good repair. He's, putting, little pieces of wood underneath them, wiping them down, wiping down the counters. You're probably in the kitchen helping Trim get the current offering of stew and mutton cooked up and ready to go, as well as some greens and things like that. It takes you a little while to do that. Elias, you're in the front room, kind of sitting at one of the tables, probably working on the rhyme for orange. Your character plays a lute?
Yes.
Okay, so you're probably out there kind of noodling through some songs and things like that. Probably appropriate that we have this sound going. And so you're in there doing that. Ander looks up at you and says, you find that rhyme for orange yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It'll come.
Did you want something for breakfast?
Oh, yeah, what you got?
We've got porridge, and we've got fruit, and then we've got, of course, nice meads.
Yeah, that all sounds good.
Arlen!
Oh, yes.
Need you to get some breakfast for Elias there. He's going to have the apples and some porridge. Make sure you bring him some brown sugar and mead, was it?
Yeah, ale.
Ale, okay, and
Do you
a
want
tankard of
the
ale.
apple sliced or just the whole apple?
Whatever you feel like. Whatever's easiest for you.
Oh, okay.
Just going to bounce the apples off the floor, bro.
Right.
That's what I feel like. So you head back to the kitchen. Trim grabs you a couple apples, hands you a cleaver and some things like that. And she reaches over to the pot on the stove, ladles out some porridge into a wooden bowl, hands you a spoon, and then goes over to one of the casks and fills a tankard with it, hands it to you. You kind of head on out. As you're heading on out, one of the local farmers by the name of Aiden. He's a young man. His family is from the area. He comes wandering in and he says, well, I think I'll have a little breakfast too before I head out and see what I can do. So he says, I'll have the porridge and the fruit as well. You get the feeling that it's going to start getting busy pretty quickly around here. So you head out to do that as well. You're pretty busy for about the next couple minutes getting food out. The local brewers who actually live right where the brewery is, right beside the Screaming Wyvern. Several of the apprentices come in to get something to eat. They mainly just have porridge and things like that, but the meads that they make and the berry wines that they make are one of the things that the Screaming Wyvern is known for. So that you don't charge them. You have to charge this guy probably a copper piece for breakfast, and also the farmer, you charge him a copper as well. And so things kind of settle in there. You're still over there noodling and things like that. And one of the guys from the brewery comes over and says, strange? Does that rhyme with orange?
No.
Okay.
Close.
He goes back to eating and says, I'll have to think on that one myself. That's a tough one. So this is something you've been working on for a couple of days, and most people are kind of aware that you've been working on this too. All right, we're going to jump to Jethro. Jethro, you've picked up your large axe from the carpentry building where the mill wheel is, and the guy you work for is a carpenter by the name of... What was it?
Darvin?
Yeah, Darvin. He's a large man, big handlebar mustache. He's well known for his carpentry. Most of the large cities nearby send people there with orders and they come by and pick it up. He is very well renowned, pretty wealthy as for a villager because his carpentry work is quite good. You come in for the day, pick up your axe, and he says, all right, I need you to fell a few of those trees out there. Head toward the huntsman's hut, probably that direction, and there's quite a few. I'll send a couple of the apprentices with you and we'll hook up the sledge so that you can drag drag the lumber back. So you just get out there to felling trees, and I'll send them along behind you.
I'll get it done.
All right. So you head out towards the hunter's camp. That's kind of across the little river here. You've been out there maybe 5 minutes, and you can hear what sounds like horses and things. It sounds like they're getting ready to hook up all the carts to pick up the lumber for you. You're out there. Walk by the huntsman's hut. You don't see the huntsman that is there. You know that he is a Kinku.
Cork.
Yeah.
Cork, shiny eye.
That's the one. But you do not see him in his hut. He's probably already out for the morning hunting, maybe laying snares. Helps to get out there early so you can get all that stuff set. You get kind of probably a little further down here and start working on that tree. Whack! Whack! So you're cutting down the trees, working on what you can do. Probably 30 minutes to an hour goes by and you're almost through the first tree. You switch around to make sure it falls the way you want it, not back into the forest, and take a few more whacks there. And big tall tree comes falling over.
Timber!
The boys have showed up with the cart, and they immediately start heading over there, dragging the tree so it can get hooked up to the sledge, so that they can drag it back to the sawmill. All right, so let's go to Holt. Holt, you're out in the middle of the field, kind of checking on the sheep. Most of the sheep seem to be pretty well. You do notice that it seems like you are missing one of the lambs.
And they're just nowhere around in the immediate.
You don't see. Normally, you put the sheep up at night, into the pens, and then let them kind of graze during the day. But yeah, there seems to be one of the lambs that is missing. So you're not sure what's going on there.
Is either of the other shepherds around?
The two other shepherds, one of them is Petty Dark, and of course then Doro. Doro was watching the sheep last night. That was his job. This was your night off, so you could get some sleep. He's a half-orc shepherd, kind of boisterous, always laughing. When you ask him about the sheep, because he's getting ready to head home for the night, or for the day, since he was up all night, goes, "Oh, I didn't see anything take the sheep. We're missing one of the lambs?"
Oh, yes. It seems like one of the young ones is missing.
So I'll go tell Morven, and we'll go look for it. So he heads off to the house to tell Morven, who is the head shepherd. And a couple minutes later, Morven comes back. Morven, remember, is a fearful big guy. And so he comes up and he says, we need to go look for the lamb that's missing then. Until we find one, Doro, stay here with the sheep and you head north and I'll head west. He may have gotten into the farmer's fields and possibly that's where it is. It's odd for a lamb to wander off on his own though. So he says, you head north towards the forest.
Yes, sir.
So you head north, you're walking across basically big open fields. There's some woods and things like that, but you can see it's pretty open through here. This is normally where you graze the sheep. Don't see the lamb initially. Give me a perception check.
First roll of the game. First roll of the game.
Let's roll.
All right. Let's see what we got here. It's an 11.
11. Go wandering across the field, don't see the little lamb there or anywhere like that. Don't see any footprints or anything like that. The little sheep, he's kind of small, light. Maybe he doesn't leave tracks. You search for a couple hours and nothing turns up. So you're a little concerned. But there's no blood, no anything like that. So you're not really sure what it is. Let's head to Alvrel. Kylan, is that yours?
Yeah, Alvrel.
You're at the jail. Nobody's in jail right now. Pretty much the jail is mainly used if you've got like bandits that you catch in the area. Sometimes it's used for people to sleep off if they've had a little bit too much to drink at the Screaming Wyvern, but for the most part, you don't have people that stay in jail. The sheriff, Gunnar Borspike, who is a female half-orc, she's there with you. You're kind of cleaning up the jail. She's checking around. She says she's about to go out on her rounds to make sure everything's okay. Reminds you that there's been some bandit activity in the area.
Okay.
So keep an ear out. Let her know if any of them come through town. Any shifty characters that you have that aren't from around here. Definitely let her know because we want to run them out of town. Make sure they don't give any of the townspeople any trouble. It's kind of a wealthy area. Most of the people are reasonably prosperous when it comes to commoners. So bandits like this town. Now, they don't like her. They don't like you because you can handle them pretty well.
Right.
So, yeah.
We fight back.
Yeah, you also have a deputy who is, and her husband is Bruno. He kind of acts as the jailer or the deputy.
What's her name? Gruna what?
Gruna Borspike. Gruna's getting ready to make her rounds. She says probably you should head to the east, maybe do the rounds there, and then Bruno will stay here and make sure the jail is fine. Watch.
I'll head east.
Okay.
Look for these bandits, maybe.
Make sure know that there aren't any bandits coming through, so you head out. You don't have a horse, you're going to be just walking. It's a nice day. Pleasant. It's kind of early in the morning, probably around 6 or 7. Sun's up. Doesn't look like rain. Looks like it's going to be a pretty calm day. Start heading down the road towards the Screaming Wyvern. You see that basically the farmers are out in their fields doing things. You see the Screaming Wyvern. One of the farmers seems to have just gone in there to get something to eat. You hear the sound of a few lute music being plucked from there. Nothing major loud. Sounds like he's just kind of running through. You knew that there was a bard that had come to town a couple weeks ago, and he seems to have liked the town and decided to stay. You think his name is Elias Blaze. He's a satyr. But it seems pretty quiet. You walk down by the wheelwright's place.
Oh, yeah.
And the wheelwright, Leokas, waves at you out through the front door. He's working on putting some wheels together and building a...
Give him a good wave back.
Yeah, he waves. You wave back at him. He smiles, goes back to work, hammering these, the rims onto the wheels and things like that. You get to basically the edge of town where the apple trees and the berry bushes start to peter out. You're going to head north, want to go back on the road. How would you like to do that? You can even head into the apple fields if you want.
Yeah, I might do that.
Okay, that's south. All right, so you kind of climb across the berry bushes, hop the fence. It's about probably 3 feet tall, and start walking through the apple orchard. There's a lot of apples. You could probably snag one down off the tree and
pop one and
grab one and have a nibble.
I'll break a little tiny bit off from my pet snake.
Oh, cool. That's right.
Wrapped around my left arm.
Do snakes eat apples? I don't think they eat apples.
We're gonna try it.
He's not really interested in the apple.
Fang breaks off in there.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But you do see some field mice running around in there, so you kind of probably put him down off your shoulder and let him go look for a mouse.
Yeah.
He hasn't eaten in about a week or so. Snakes don't eat a lot, but he'll need to grab something. So you put him down and he goes kind of slithering off to look for something to eat. Still seems pretty quiet. You kind of make a circuit of the apple orchard and wind up about south of the Screaming Wyvern, and then you wind up also coming up to the road. You can see the road that heads south down there. It heads towards the nearest horse farm, and so you kind of get to the outer edges of the horse farm and then back to the road and come back north. So you've made a big circuit of the south. Everything looks pretty quiet.
Where's the reports for the banditry been going on?
They just have seen what looks like, mainly the bandits like to stick to the forest. If you look on the big map here, you can see that that's kind of this area right here.
Wildwood. And
Right. They don't like to be at the Caldwell farm because it's too open and stuff like that. So the Ducal Wood, the Wildwood are the places where they tend to hang out. So let's see, where are we back at? Sartre,
Yes.
you're in the kitchen, getting your baked goods ready, setting them up so that they are able to be used for healing and things along those lines. It takes you probably 2 or 3 hours to get all that set up. Are you going to do anything with your artificer, like make any of the, you can enchant some items to do little tiny things. Anything in particular you want to do with that, or are you going to wait?
Yeah, I was gonna make a few cordials
Okay.
that are filled with a liquid that can be given to people. It does spare the dying. So I do it for
Okay.
like the guys who work in the woods and that can,
Right.
so that way if there's something happens to them that
Right.
they have these and they can just pop them.
Well, specifically what I'm looking at is the 5 types of items that you can make either glow with light, or they can give a message or anything like that. I mean, you don't have to do that, but you might want to make sure you have 5
No,
items
yeah,
on your
I
person.
have
Yeah.
5 hard biscuits
Okay, that
that
you're not
I
going to
have
eat.
that you don't really want to eat them. They'd be like hardtack. That's not my best quality. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna make those into
These
lights.
biscuits, these are burned biscuits, huh, or something like that.
I don't burn biscuits.
That's right. Far too
They
good a
just
baker.
they just don't meet my standards.
I gotcha,
I'm
okay.
turning them into
Things that you can
lights.
use for like that. Okay, so you're going to make them all. Well, you can wait to assign them. I don't think you have to do that every morning, do you? Or can you just leave them, or what?
I think it's for. They last as long as I want them, and then when I do something new, it changes. So
Okay, so you're just going to make sure you have a pouch full of 5 hard biscuits that are not up to snuff on what you would feed people. Got it. Okay.
but these are just for light.
Okay, so you get your magical bakery goods ready and set up and put into probably a little basket or maybe a pouch, and then you get the hard biscuits set up that you're not going to serve to people, so there you go. It takes you a couple hours to do that. It's probably around 10 o'clock. You felled another tree there, Jethro. The tree is down, and they've already drugged the other one back to the sawmill, and so they get back with a sledge to get this one hooked up. It's pretty quiet. You're just kind of out there. You have not seen the Kenku yet. You have headed back and are still looking for the lamb, but no sign of it yet. What are you going to do now? You going to head into the woods, or do you want to head back to the farm, or any other directions you want to search, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't want Greenberry to be left all alone out here.
Right.
So for me, I would have to keep looking. So I'd probably head on into the woods a little bit.
Okay. When you cross over the little stream, it's actually more of a river. You kind of have to wade through it. It gets probably about 2 or 3 feet deep because it's deep enough that it can actually run the mill wheel for the sawmill. You cross over into the woods, and it gets immediately darker and quieter. You can hear the sounds of small animals and birds and things like that. And I'm going to need another survival check.
That was me making an animal sound.
Even better.
Oh, hang on. I guess I should change that, shouldn't I?
I need to bring my dice jail next time.
Yeah, I gotta roll this other dice instead. 10 this time.
Ooh, well, that's not right. Here we go. Hang on. Let's do the elven.
Hey, it could have been worse. I mean, you could have dropped by more than 1 point. That's
So you head into the forest.
Right.
Okay. You got a 10 on your survival check.
That's
Right. So you head into the forest, still looking for the lamb. It gets a little harder to actually tell if the lamb is there, though you do not see what looks like any signs of it, like wool on the little branches and bushes that are on the ground, so it seems like he didn't come this way. You're not really sure. You get probably maybe 100 feet back into the woods, and you kind of go, yeah, I really don't want to do this, so
Yeah.
you turn around and start heading back the
It's a
other way.
little dark as you go in. so-
It is a little dark, for sure. You get back to, which way are you heading now, by the way?
I guess I should probably, since I've already searched this north area, I would probably head back to the place where they have the sheep and stuff and talk to Doro or see if anybody's come back by. Maybe Morven's already come back with it, and I just didn't notice.
Right. Yeah, you head back. No, it seems like nope. You wait probably 30 minutes, and Doro shows back up, and he says, "Any luck?"
I didn't see anything. No sign or anything that I could tell.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye out. We'll just make sure we keep a sharper eye on the rest of the sheep. That's for sure. I need you to make a survival check for me too.
got 12.
A 12. All right. You're out there chopping down the trees. don't see much of anything. You do notice, however, that off in the woods, this area, you notice what looks like a thin plume of smoke is coming up out of the trees. That's a bit odd. It could be the Kenku, but you're not sure. He's normally pretty good about hiding his tracks, so.
Roast lamb tonight, boys.
How far am I through the current tree I'm working on, or?
You could probably spend another 15, 20 minutes and probably get it chopped down. That'll be your third one. And so you could probably stop for a minute. It's almost noon anyway, about time for lunch. Wouldn't hurt you to take a quick break or something like that after you get it chopped down.
Right, I think I might do that. Okay. Are the other guys with the sled still here, or were they taking
just come
the
back.
other one?
They just
came
come back. Yeah. Okay, so another 15 minutes goes by. You chop down the rest of the tree. They hook it up to the sled. And what are you going to head out and do now? Check it out?
I want to go look at the smoke. I mean, if there's possibly a fire in the woods, I would like to know.
Right. Anything in particular you want to do? Just going to head walking out in there?
Yeah, I'm just going to walk over there.
You're walking out towards there and closer and closer to the fire. As you get within maybe about 30, 40 feet of wherever the fire is, you notice that there's a small clearing, and it looks like somebody's built a campfire there. However, there's no one around.
Is the fire actually going?
It's kind of smoldering. You do see what looks like maybe a kind of a little crank on the top of it, and on this little piece of wood with the little Y-shaped sticks, there looks like maybe some kind of animal that was being cooked.
In that case, I just want to look around real quick, because at that point I'm curious if it might not be Korik out here.
Right. What is your passive perception, by the
I
way?
believe that is a 14, but let me make sure real quick. It is in fact a 14.
All right, good deal. You're kind of looking around, and behind you, you hear what sounds like someone has stepped on either a leaf or a branch. Something goes crack behind you, so...
I'll turn around real quick.
All right, you turn around real quick, and you see a guy who's kind of he looked like he was trying to sneak up on you. And he's just stepped out around one of the trees into the clearing behind you, and when you spin around, he freezes. He's got a short sword, kind of rusty and maybe sharp. He's wearing what looks like cast-off leather armor, and he goes, "Oh, so you saw us?"
Look at him very strange, like, us?
At which point, two other guys step out from behind a couple trees. They're carrying. One of them's got what looks like a hatchet, small axe. The other guy is also carrying a short sword, and they're all wearing cast-off what looks like leather armor. And they say, "Well, we'll take that pouch at your belt then. Maybe that axe you've got too, and you can be right back on your way. You're a big one, aren't you?"
I am. At that though, I kind of pull the axe over and kind of roll it in my hands like, "I'm not here to cause trouble, but you can't have my axe."
"Well, we're going to need that axe. It's better than the one here Josh has got. This is little, very small. He's got axe envy. And so he also wants that pouch of whatever you got at your belt. Whether it's your lunch or your valuables, doesn't matter. We want it."
So that's a shame to hear. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to walk right over this way. I don't want to see you guys come forward.
He said, No, you're not going to walk anywhere. There's three of us and one of you."
Aye. But I don't see a very big one of you.
"Well, if that's the way it's going to be, I guess that's the way it's going to be." And they start moving towards you. So let's roll for initiative. All right.
You can do it.
First combat of the campaign.
Yeah, most first combat.
I got a 9 for initiative.
Okay. They got an 11, so they'll be going first. They begin to kind of move towards you in a menacing manner. They've got their hand axes and short swords. First one's going to take a swing at you. That's the guy who was doing the talking.
Right.
He got a 10.
I had 15.
Okay, so he lunges towards you, and you quickly dodge out of the way, and he kind of overextends himself and realizes maybe he should have just left you alone. The second guy with the short sword takes a swing at you. He gets an 11. Again, you nimbly dodge out of the way, and they start kind of looking at each other. Now, the guy with the hand axe takes a swing at you and loses his balance and trips and falls on his face. He quickly rolls back and grabs his axe, and they're kind of looking at each other going, "Oh my." So now it is your turn. They look a little concerned.
As well they should.
Yeah. Whoopsie daisies.
Perhaps we shouldn't have gone after the big guy.
This is a peaceful town.
doesn't mean weak.
That's right.
Oh, luckily they didn't see me this time. They would have had whatever they wanted.
Here you go, buddy. All yours. Yeah.
Yep. What did you say you want?
An axe over here.
Oh, you want me to leave naked?
It's all yours. That's all right. I'm a druid. We don't mind too much not clothing. So
You want some sheep too?
yeah.
I can lead you right to him.
You know, I feel like I tried to handle it peacefully there for a moment.
Yeah, you did, but you
I
know,
thought that was a very peaceful moment.
they were not interested in peace, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
That makes me upset.
Yeah, should. Mean old bandits taking stuff from the good people of this town.
Let it all settle down in the bottom.
And,
10. I've never seen it. It might be.
as a bonus action, I'm gonna go into a rage.
Okay.
Just because it's 3 on 1,
That one for a good minute.
and I try to be nice.
Yeah.
Which one is the one that's closest to me?
Probably the guy who's doing the talking.
In that case, I'm going to take my axe and I'm going to swing, but when I'm swinging, I'm not swinging with the blade, I'm swinging with the back of it
Okay. So you're trying to just knock him unconscious, possibly. All right, make your roll.
for 22.
Oh yeah, you hit him easily. His AC was only like about 13. So yeah, you hit him.
Just in the woods.
Roll your damage,
I know, he's like,
and we'll make it,
I feel something.
not lethal damage.
Alright, so that would be 9
Right.
non-lethal damage.
You haul back with the back part of your axe, take a swing, and then flip it over in your wrist as it gets close to him. His eyes get really big when he realizes that big old axe is coming towards his head, and you conk him right in the head. And he goes, "Dook, woo," and down he goes.
And in my turn with, it didn't have to be this way.
All right, the other two guys have seen what they needed to see, and they immediately jump up and look like they're going to run away. Now, you get an attack of opportunity on one of them.
Third one that had attacked, the one that had the hatchet,
Mm-hmm.
that's the one.
Give me a roll for that attack of opportunity.
That's a 12. I don't think
That's
quite
not going to do it. He has a 13. So you take a swing at him, but he's backpedaling pretty hard. He gets just barely out of range of your axe and begins sprinting for the edge of the clearing. The other guy has immediately taken off on a dead run. So they look like they're going somewhere. They are heading further up this way, so you're not sure. They're going away from the town, just to let you know. You can still, in the next turn, you can still see they're right at the edge of the opposite side of the clearing. You could chase them if you want.
I don't want to. That's not my thing.
Okay.
I will though, however, I'm not really concerned with their little campfire or their little thing they have right there, but I will grab this guy either by an arm, a leg, or by the scruff of whatever he's wearing at the moment. I'm going to drag him back.
Okay. All right. You can kind of probably pick him up and carry him, honestly. He's pretty thin. You do see
I
that
can comfortably carry
Yeah, right.
480 pounds.
He just
Oh,
wants
yeah,
to
he's
drag.
not anywhere close to that. He might be 120 soaking wet. He's got a pouch on his belt. He's got a knife in his belt. Also looks like just one he used to eat. His shoes are kind of, got holes in them. His clothes look kind of threadbare. He's wearing this, looks like they got pieces of leather armor that they maybe got from people, and they just kind of mismatched it together. So he doesn't look like he's a very good bandit, if anything.
Alright, so just to go ahead and give you like the idea of what my next little thing here is going to be.
Sure.
I'm going to take him back, see if the guys are still there loading the thing up on the sled. Be like, hey, if you got a length of rope, this guy tried to mug me, take that. And then since it's around lunchtime, we'll head in to have lunch and probably go drop this guy off since we're taking a break.
Gotcha. All right, you take him back there. Yeah, they're still loading up the tree onto the sledge. When they see you coming back with this guy, one of the guys, Aoth and Fanger, they're both humans. They are
Finger.
Fanger. Yeah.
This bandit group is made up of Aoth, Fanger, and Josh.
No.
Okay.
These are the apprentices.
Oh, okay.
These are the apprentices. These are the carpentry apprentices that are out helping him get trees. Now, Aoth and Fanger, they're there. They're like, had a little trouble out in the woods there. Yeah. Well, what are we gonna do with that guy?
I guess we'll go drop him off to the jail. I thought that the woods might have had a bit of a fire in it. They made a little campfire for something they caught, and next thing you know, they wanted my stuff. Didn't end well.
Did you put the fire out though?
It was just smoldering, not much left to it.
Okay, well, so Aoth goes, well, I'm going to go check the fire and make sure it's out. Don't want it catching or anything
There
like
were
that.
2 more.
Oh, I'll help you take that guy to the jail then. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll make sure he gets there.
We'll come back.
Okay, so they leave the sledge there. Well, tell you what, probably Al was going to finish hooking up the tree to the sledge, and you and Fangor can take it to the jail. Okay, so you start heading towards the jail. It's lunchtime anyway. Probably time to grab maybe a quick meal at the Screaming Wyvern. You gonna search this guy at all?
No, I don't really care about what he has on
Take his
him.
knife?
It's more of a... Oh yeah, take the knife away. That's,
All right, and his short sword.
It's more for the fact that he tried.
Yep. Okay, so you've got his short sword and his knife. You probably leave those on the sledge anyway. The short sword's in pretty bad shape. It's pretty awful. Rusty, pitted, notched. Yeah. You wouldn't deign to even use it. You know better martial weapons than that. All right. Lunchtime crowd starts to come into the Screaming Wyvern. It's a lot of the local farmers and their apprentices and some of the craftsmen. You've probably delivered a load of tarts and baked goods to the Screaming Wyvern. Mm-hmm. You're there around lunchtime. You're of course still there, Elias. You have finished your rounds and headed back to the jail, Aubriel. And about that time, Jethro, the very large gentleman who works in the sawmill, comes in with one of the apprentices, and he's got a guy between him. Guy looks distinctively like a bandit.
We found this one roaming in the North Woods.
Well, looks like you apprehended him pretty well.
Yeah, well, he's very unconscious.
But there were two more that got away from me.
All right, you said the Northwoods.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Just north of Old Corrick's little camp.
Bruno, the half-orc, grabs this guy, throws him in the jail, in the cell that you've got there. There's actually about 3 or 4 cells, puts him in there, locks the door, says, well, we'll take care of him until the next time we get somebody through from the duchy who can take him and try him or things like that. So we'll keep him locked up for a little while. All right, thanks.
Why should we do a little bit of an interrogation on him?
It's a distasteful thing. We'll leave that to the duchy
Oh, just
soldiers.
question him, nothing bloody.
We'll let the duchy soldiers handle that. We'll just keep him locked down. He doesn't look like he could. The only thing I'm worried about with him is slipping out between the iron bars. He's kind of a skinny one. Probably do him a good thing to have a week of solid meals in here in the jail. But we do need to check out and see where his 2 buddies are, so we'll head up that direction after we get something to eat at the Screaming Wyvern.
Aye.
All right. You're heading to the Screaming Wyvern.
Yes.
You're heading to the Screaming Wyvern. You're in the Screaming Wyvern. You're in the Screaming Wyvern. You have just finished coming back, and Doro says, let's go get lunch at the Screaming Wyvern. So everybody's at the Screaming Wyvern, all right, getting ready to have lunch.
Good place.
Yeah, it is. And you're kind of hanging out there, enjoying yourselves, meals going all around, you're waiting tables, you've dropped off the goods, you're probably playing a little music, see if you can maybe get a few tips or something along those lines.
I've also gone to see Trin
Who?
to get a beer.
Oh, okay. Well, mead. They make mead there.
Or mead,
Yeah.
and talk shop with her.
There is a brewery, but this is mead is what they sell there. So, you're playing, everybody's eating lunch. A few of the farmers finish up eating a little early and have headed out. You know everybody in town, so you know everybody. These are all locals, nobody from out of town who's come through.
What's his name? Elias Blake.
You're eating, having a good time, and all of a sudden, you hear this rumbling noise. And it gets louder and louder to the point where the Screaming Wyvern starts to shake a bit. Everybody's kind of looking around trying to figure out what's going on because this doesn't happen. And so they're like, what's going on? And shakes. Several of the mugs get tipped over. People grabbing stuff. And then just as quickly as it started, it stops. Okay? And everybody's kind of like, what was that?
That happen often around here.
No, it doesn't.
Earthquake?
But that's what it seems to be. Maybe an earthquake or something like that. So you're a little concerned.
I'm gonna go to the door.
Same.
Go to the door.
I'll sit with Dora.
You hear what sounds like yelling further to the north. People calling out and yelling for each other. You get the feeling maybe the earthquake was centered to the north of here.
Well, my work is to the north of here.
This is correct.
And I head out.
All right, so you head north.
My sheep are also
I am too.
to the
You
north
are too?
here.
You're gonna
Me
head too?
too.
We'd have to check on the sheep.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure security.
Me and Dora would definitely want to.
Yeah. What are you gonna stay in the inn or are you gonna head north
Yeah, I'm
too?
gonna see what done.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna head north too.
I mean, story.
Because if something really bad happened, I can always,
Is
help.
where's my witch friend live?
She lives over here.
Okay.
Yeah. She is also to the north. You are correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna go check on Miriam.
So you begin heading out to check and see what's going on. As you head further north, you head towards the shepherd's place. Doesn't look like there's any kind of problem. A couple of the walls have fallen down and are going to need repair. Especially if you're going to keep the sheep from getting out. Doro says that he's going to need some help doing that. Any of you who want to stay and help him, he would appreciate the help, but he understands you need probably go check on people. Yeah. And there's a silver piece for each person who comes and helps. Yeah.
I work here, so.
Yeah, well, he's going to pay you extra. Because you're not normally someone who has to fix walls, you watch sheep for it. So it's an extra silver piece if you work on the walls with him. You going to stay here and work, or are you going to go back and continue north with him?
Well, I mean, I would probably want to make sure that.
You probably would. Make sure everybody's okay. All right, heading towards the sawmill next?
Yes.
All right, heading towards the sawmill.
Tempting to help, but I need to check on Darva and the mill.
Yeah, I'm gonna head up there.
Okay. There's also, remember, a brewery. There's a couple farms and the mayor's house, which is right here. That's also north. Alrighty, so are you heading to the sawmill next, or the farms, or the mayor? And you're heading to check on your friend.
I'm just gonna tell Doro, I'll be back, but I have to go and check on Miriam.
So you head towards Miriam. It'll require you cutting across the fields and stuff like that. Not a big deal. You'll be heading through by that farm probably. So
I'm gonna swing by my parents' house, make sure they're okay, and then if they're okay, I'm gonna head up there and maybe have them bring some stuff.
You actually notice that there doesn't seem to be any damage down by the road. Again, because it was what seems like far enough away from the earthquake. The screaming wyvern just got kind of wiggled around a bit, so you can check on your parents. They see you and tell that they're fine. You know, they felt this earthquake, but then you can head up there. All right, as you're walking by the brewery, you hear screaming.
Screaming at the brewery.
Screaming at the brewery, not something you normally hear in town.
I'm gonna bolt there.
Okay, you head for the brewery very quickly, and you see Alicent. You know that the brewers are halflings. The brewery is owned by Fenro, Bronzevale, and Tulip. You walk toward, or you go running towards the brewery, and you hear Tulip just screaming. She is standing outside what looks like the barn at the brewery, and it looks like there's kind of their storage building. As you get closer, she goes, "You've got to help him! You've got to help him! You've got to help him!"
What's wrong? Slow down for me.
The barrels fell on him. Oh my gosh, the barrels fell on him.
So I'm gonna door open to the barn. I'm gonna run inside and look for.
Inside, you see Fenro is in there, and he's trying to move the barrels, but the barrels are, like 50-gallon barrels, and so it's hard for him to move. His daughter, Apple, is in there trying to help him, but they're not having a whole lot of luck moving things. He says, "It's my son, Corwin. Corwin's trapped under the barrels."
Go over there and give a push.
I also want to say I wanted to, because this is like on the way, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can see that Tulip's got the other kids out of the way. That basically there's a couple of girls, her little kids, and then a little boy who is her other kiddo. They have lots of kids, and so you start trying to move the barrels. Who's trying to help move the barrels?
I want to move the barrels.
You're gonna help with barrels. You guys gonna work together on it or try separately?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can lift over 900 pounds.
Okay, so give me a strength check real quick,
Okay.
and you're assisting, so you have advantage.
Yeah, we'll let you do all the strength stuff.
Yeah. Shouldn't be hard to move, but these barrels are kind of unwieldy, and they've fallen over, so you're going to try and make sure that they don't fall over on you. Because the barrels probably weigh a couple 100 pounds. They would definitely crush a leg or an arm or something like that if they fell on you.
With advantage, I got 13.
Okay. You start moving the barrels. You're helping with the barrels. The barrels are pretty hard to move. Just a couple of them have sprung and they're leaking. Maybe that's why they're so hard to move. You get one of them moved out of the way, and you can see underneath the barrels what looks like a small boy's feet. Yeah, and a lot of blood. And so at which point, Fenro goes, "Oh no, my lovely Corwin! Oh my gosh, he's dead." And so you start moving more barrels, and sure enough, over about 30-minute period, you're able to get all the barrels pulled off, and yeah, the little boy has been crushed by the barrels. There's not a bit of life in him. Really, really sad. And so Corwin starts crying, and he goes, "I can't believe it. I've been blessed with many children, but they're all important to me. I can't believe I've lost my twin boy. Oh my gosh." And Tulip comes in and is just wailing, and it's pretty sad. What do you guys want to do?
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I mean,
let me know if there's any way I can help.
So
Yeah, not to be too callous, but definitely
gotta check on other people,
I
right?
apologize, but
You
I
do.
have to check for Darwin.
Right, you gotta check on other people, that's for sure. All right, so you're heading across to check on your friend, and
Yeah.
you're going by the Hydrant farm. That's the blue one right there. Probably one of the most prosperous farms in the area. As you're standing there, you can hear grunting basically in the house. You can see that the door is open. You're not sure what's going on, but this is pretty close to where the earthquake might be, so you might want to check on it.
All right. I'm just gonna cautiously approach the door. You said the door's open?
It is.
Can I see anything from outside without entering? Like,
Actually, you can. The back part of the house is collapsed.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Do I
collapsed.
see any people?
Yes, you see Glenfear Hydrant, who is one of the best friends of the mayor, and his wife, Alicent. Glenfear is trying to dig through the rubble to get to something. You're not sure.
I'll come over and
When you walk in the house, Glenfear goes, "You gotta help me. My boys are trapped in there."
certainly. I'm not very strong, but I don't know if I have any spells that will help with this, but I'll just get down in the rubble and start trying to pull pieces.
Right. So Glenfear's trying to pull, boards out of there and some of the plaster, and he's scraping it out. Allison's kind of pulling things out of the way. He's going to make a strength check. You're going to help him, so you give him advantage. Oh, that's a nice roll. He gets the first big piece of lumber out of the way, one of the cross beams basically at the wall, and pulls it out, and you can hear muffled sounds of what say like, Dad, get us out, you gotta help Oren. And so you can hear that they're basically, and they're able to talk or something like
Is
that.
this a substructure, like under, are they in a basement room?
No,
or
it's
just
the
a
back of
collapse?
their house.
Okay.
Their room was on the back of the house, and it collapsed. Correct.
Okay, so they're just trapped in that room.
Right. That seems what it looks like. So a couple more minutes go by, and you're able to clear most of the rubble out. And when you do, immediately this young boy comes leaping out of there and hugs his dad. Okay. You recognize it as one of Glenfear's sons. You're not sure you remember what his name is, but he looks over at his dad and he says, Oren's trapped. You got to get him out from under the boards. And so you look over there, and it looks like the back part of the house, when it fell, it caught Oren's legs under the rubble. So he's trapped under the rubble, and he looks like he's going to need some help getting out from under. He's crying. It hurts. He says, oh, my legs are crushed, Dad. They're crushed. You guys going to try and lift the crossbar?
Can I look at the situation and see if it's a thing where if we take this off his leg, he'll bleed out, or...
Make me a check. Would we use medicine, possibly? Yeah. Use medicine and see if you think what would happen.
Okay, I can just get a +1, so we'll just... 15.
All right. You think that he's just kind of trapped,
Okay.
but it is pretty heavy, so if it doesn't get moved off of him, it could cause permanent damage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess we can just try to work
Right.
together to lift it.
Right. So you're going to...
I'll go get someone
Glenford's
strong.
going to try and do it again. Okay, so he had advantage. All right, you're able to kind of move the cross beam a little bit further so that it's below his knees. Okay, and you can tell that his legs are in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
You do notice at some point when you do lift them off there that Oren passes out from pain. He gets kind of white and just passes out. One more attempt. Ooh, come on, big roll. Ooh. Unfortunately, the crossbar seems to be wedged in there, and you're not able to move it. And you're getting really worried about this kid. That if you don't get this off of him, he's probably gonna maybe never be able to walk again or something like that. So,
Okay. Is there something around that I can use to leverage the to make it easier?
yeah,
for him to lift?
there's some other wood you could use.
Coordinate to
Okay.
just lift it enough to yank him out.
Okay, you're gonna try and just get him out from underneath there. Okay, his dad can probably try and lever him up. Let's see if he can do it. That'll do it. So he grabs one of the boards. You said, "Get a board and lever it up," and he, kind of puts it in there and lifts it up, and you're able to drag the boy out. His legs do look pretty crushed, but you grab him, pull him out. He's still passed out. Looks kind of pale. You're not sure. Can you do anything for him? Or?
I don't have any healing abilities, but I know that Satra was at the...
Well, you have medicine.
Oh, I do?
Or
I mean, I
just-
can just do a medicine.
You
Yeah.
can do a medicine check.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So I just would add my medicine to it to try to...
Right, to make a roll for it, yeah.
Am I still at my parents' house?
No, you're
Splinted
heading
or something
you're heading
like
up
that.
I'm
towards
heading
there.
up
10.
towards...
A 10. You think you can probably keep it, you're at, we need to get him somewhere safe, keep him covered up and warm, and there's a doctor in the town.
Okay,
And so
yeah,
you
yeah.
can go get the doctor if you want.
Okay.
The doctor is down there.
Back
Yeah.
here.
So there's a doctor in the town. Yeah.
I or his father be faster at carrying this kid down there, you think?
Well, you're not sure you want to move him. You're thinking that if he's got broken
okay.
bones, you don't want to carry him. So pull him out, get him on one of the, beds or couches and leave him there, and then go get the doctor would probably be the best idea. Because if he's got any nasty compound fractures, then that's gonna mess his legs up pretty
Well,
bad.
I'm gonna tell his father to go and get the doctor because
Okay.
I'm closer to Miriam's house than I am to the doctor's office. And
Okay, so he heads out to get the doctor. Basically, his wife stays with the little boy. They put a blanket over him and hold him still, and so he takes off. You're heading to Miriam's?
yes.
Okay, you head over to Miriam's. It takes you probably about 10-15 minutes to get there. Miriam is in her house. Her house has collapsed a little bit, but it's not too bad. She doesn't look like she's going to need help to get out of it, but it's going to need some repairs. And she is wondering why you're there.
I came to check on you because everything was, chaos.
She says, "Oh, well, thank you for checking on me. Some things fell off. Stuff fell off the walls, but I'm fine. I'm fine."
Anything that I could use to help with,
Well, I do have a knowledge of herbalism and healing. Mostly. Sure. Where was most of the damage?
Seems to be at the northern end of the town mostly, but we're gonna have to set up some sort of base camp for the people who are injured. I don't know, maybe the inn is the best place to do that, so I don't know really where to tell you to go.
Well, I'll check with the Hydrons first. They're the nearest, and then I'll work my way down towards the doctor's office. So she grabs like a bag that has some herbs and stuff like that, and a belt that has a bunch of pouches on it. She grabs a staff. And she heads out that direction. Where are you going to head? You going to walk with her or what?
Now that I know she's okay, I'm gonna head back over to those guys who said they would pay a silver for help.
Oh, yeah. All right, you head that direction. All right, you guys have headed out of the brewery.
I guess I'm gonna go continue north.
Okay.
Toward the
Sawmill will be the next place you would see.
I'm assuming I finally left my parents' home.
Yes, you're probably heading towards the sawmill
Yeah, I'm
as
heading
well.
north. I've seen people.
Well, it's not that far. You could actually see these guys probably walking up the road towards the sawmill. You're heading towards the sawmill there, Mr. Jethro, and you immediately notice that there's a problem. The sawmill, the wheel, has gotten knocked loose and seems to be sitting askew, which means it's not
that's
turning,
not good.
which is not good. That means they can't cut the lumber. So you start heading that direction. You can see that Darwin is standing there going, "We've got to get it back on the mill race, and the belt's put back on it." And so he sees you coming up the hill, and he goes, Jethro, oh, and you brought friends, thank God. We can get this set up probably quickly. Look, we could probably get this done in an afternoon if you guys come around and help me with it, and there's money in it for you.
Of course.
I'm doing my rounds, checking on people first, and I might be back later.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, appreciate it. So you show up. Where you gonna stay here with them, or are you gonna stay with the
Well, I
shepherd?
was.
Okay, you're gonna stay
in
down there
the
and help repair the walls. Got it. And what are you doing?
I'm following, trying to get tails. I'll help where I can, but
Right.
I'm not.
Someone might say the rhyming word with orange
Yeah,
any
it
minute,
might happen.
Correct.
any moment.
How bad is the sawmill broken?
Well, that's what it is it's just basically the wheel has gotten knocked loose, and the stream guides that basically make the water go have gotten pushed over.
So
So
is that too much for me to do a mending spell on? I'm thinking because that's a cantrip, but it's more like a broken key or something.
No, it's more like the stones got knocked over,
Yeah.
so you just got to stack them back up, and
Okay.
he's going to need some burly type fellows to put the mill wheel back on there. So you stay in there to
Yeah,
watch.
just get it watching. Yeah, I mean, help
Okay.
out where I can, but I'm
Right.
not very strong. But
Right, gotcha. All right, where are you headed from here?
I'm just gonna continue running around, checking on people, see if they need
Alright.
help.
You go over to check the mayor. The mayor seems like, he's got a little bit nicer house. He was closer to the north. The only thing that's happened at his place is that his storage barn has collapsed. He needs the grain that fell out gathered into barrels, and so he needs a cart driven to get the barrels, and he will pay 1 silver piece for anybody who helps that. So he really wants you to take his cart and his horse and go get barrels from the cooper so he can get all this stuff.
I guess I'll do that.
Okay, cool. So he gives you the cart and the horses, gets them ready for you, and then sends you down to the cooper. You guys are going to try and fix the mill race for the sawmill. I'm going to need a strength check.
Can I use my last rage to get advantage?
I'll look up.
Okay, You could, sure. Does that give you advantage on strength check?
It does.
Yeah.
And strength saving throws.
You get really mad at the mill.
There we go.
Stupid wheel. That's right. Good place.
I mean, the first one was 10, so the second one's 22.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right. So
Very good.
you're able to, you with a couple of the apprentices that you work with are able to get it placed back in where it needs to go. It takes you probably about most of the afternoon to get everything set back and the stream guides put in place. But right before the sun sets, basically they disengage the clutch, and sure enough, the wheel starts turning, and you can see that the sawmill has started running again. There's a big cheer from all the carpenters and lumber, and hey, we got the wheel back going. And so Dorville goes, whew, all right, well, that's definitely worth a bonus for all of you who helped. Yeah. He hands you 2 gold pieces.
Oh, Lord.
It says, hey, don't set it all in one place there, maybe a night at the Screaming Wyvern is what you ought to do.
Keep that money in town.
You are very muddy. You are kind of wet. You definitely want to change clothes before you go anywhere, that's for sure. You were probably there too, helping, right? Yes, no.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
You get 2
Everybody
gold as well.
else was done.
Okay.
Okay.
You get 2 gold as well. Who else was there helping? You got 2 gold.
Nice.
You finished building up the fence around there. It's taken, again, most of the afternoon to repair any of the damage, and so sure enough, he pays you an extra silver piece for all your work on that. It's, again, not your night to sit with the sheep, so you head on home to rest. Let's talk to Orlin about what catch her up with the time frame that you guys are in. Okay. All right, so you've headed back towards the farm, yes?
Yeah, I had told them I would come back and help with the fence after I checked on Miriam.
Okay, so you do see Orlin shows up kind of about in mid-afternoon, and she helps you repair the fences. The shepherd, Morven, appreciates your help and gives you a silver piece for helping to build the fences back up. You figure probably at that point, it's going to be getting close to supper time. You probably need to be back at the Screaming Wyvern so you can take care of tables and stuff like that. There are 2 other girls who wait tables too, so, they don't have to have you there, but it would probably be a good idea. Generally, evenings are pretty busy there anyway. A lot of people come in after working at the farms and have a few ales, and then sometimes they buy something to eat and they head home, so there you go.
Okay. So yeah, I'll start heading back that way.
All right. You head back that way, probably most of you are you heading back down to the Screaming Wyvern? You never did have lunch, by the way.
I know, I never did.
You have 2 golds so you can use to buy with. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down to the Square River.
All right. So you head back down there. You're probably heading back down there because that's where you live anyway. Anybody else heading to the Screaming Wyvern? Okay, you've gotten the cart back with the barrels to the mayor. He gives you a gold piece for doing that, and then he starts getting a lot of the farm hands to shovel the grain back into these barrels.
What about up north?
Further up here is just the old castle. Nobody lives there. It's kind of broken down. They've actually converted this part of it into a little cemetery. So yeah.
Would I be able to
Check
guess maybe
before
that's
it.
where the origin was?
Good chance it's that direction. Yeah. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
All right. Head towards the castle. It's on a hill, so you kind of have to walk up the hill a little bit. Castle, when you get closer to it, it's probably around 3 in the afternoon. The sun's, starting to slip behind the Screaming Wyvern Mountain because it's really, really tall. And supposedly wyverns live up there.
Oh.
So, you get towards the castle. You notice that the castle looks to be in even worse repair than before. You're thinking that the earthquake may have made more of the walls fall down. The castle had gotten hit by an earthquake about 20 years ago. That was the only earthquake I ever had in the time. This is the second time they've had an earthquake, and so that's where these rocks came from 20 years ago. Well, now there's more of them, of course. Looks like some of the towers have lost even more of their walls. It's in pretty bad repair. You can walk through there. Most of the walls wouldn't be very difficult to climb over. They're just kind of, rubble, most of them.
Yeah, I'll take a gander.
Okay. Give me a perception check, please.
Alright. Set perception. Oh, that's gonna be an 18.
You don't see anything that looks like anyone was living here or that maybe anybody was squatting in this area. It's quiet. You walk through the cemetery. A couple of the headstones have gotten tipped a little bit. You do notice that a few of the vases, little stone vases with flowers, have fallen over as well. So somebody's going to have to come up and probably set everything back up. Somebody from the church may need to come back up and reconsecrate the grounds, in fact, for all that matter. Okay. So you definitely need to let the church know that the cemetery has kind of gotten some damage to it. Other than that, it seems pretty quiet.
All right, well, I guess I'll head back down, let the church know, and
Yeah.
get a little brief, I guess, with
All right.
Gruma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you head back down to the church, let them know that the cemetery needs some attention. They say they'll get on it pretty soon. Unfortunately, while you're there, you do find that the brewery, Fenro and Tulip, have brought their son who died, Corwin, to be taken care of and given last rites by the church. And they're going to bury him and take him up to the cemetery probably in a couple days and bury him. So kind of a sad situation. They're very sad. Corwin was a nice little boy, very sweet. Of course, all of the family is pretty sweet, so it's very sad that the little boy died. So yeah, not so nice time there. Then you head back to the jail. The guy who Jethro had brought in is conscious. He's sitting in the jail cell, moping. Looks very unhappy.
Okay. I shoot him dagger eyes and just kind of...
He dies. I'm kidding.
I'm so powerful!
That's right, your dagger eyes.
And I guess I'll go to Gruma. The earthquake. Happens very often.
No, we had one, I think, 20 years ago. That's kind of a rare occurrence around here. The Screaming Wyvern Peak used to be volcanic. I think some of the other mountains in the mountain range may have some volcanic activity. But no, normally we don't get earthquakes around here. This is kind of an odd thing. Very strange.
Then the sawmill, the wheel fell off, but they've got people working on it.
Oh, good.
Got people working on the fence for the lamb pasture.
I heard that Corwin, the little halfling, died. It's sad.
fate.
Yeah. Any other people in trouble or anything like that?
Castles and more rubble.
Well, that's all right. We don't need that castle anyway.
We got the grain moved and shipped, but everything.
Oh, for the mayor.
Now.
Good. He's a real bear when he's unhappy, so if you've got everything moving there, that's probably make our lives easier, since he does pay our salaries.
Oh, yeah.
So
everything looks good so far.
Okay. So Gruna comes in and says, well, I've talked to the bandit that Jethro brought in. He says that he and his friends were just looking for food and a little bit of money because they don't have any of their own. They're not from the area. They've been kind of working their way towards the dwarven mines, hoping to catch people on the road. They'd taken a sheep from the sheep herder and had cooked it. And then they were trying to find easy pickings on their way west or east. Then they ran into Jethro, and Jethro seems to have knocked one of them unconscious. We're going to turn him loose with the duchy's soldiers. Banditry carries a pretty heavy 3-year charge, so they'll take him back to the duchy and incarcerate them. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, we'll hold him here. We'll have to make sure that we have somebody watching him at all times so he doesn't try to escape or anything silly
His
like
belly
that.
ought to be full with that knuckle sandwich you got.
Yeah, he probably will enjoy the meals because we have him brought in from the Screaming Wyvern, so that'll be all right. I took his knife, took his short sword. Well, he didn't have a short sword or a knife. He had 2 sheaths, so I'm not sure where those are. We took his pouch, making sure he didn't have anything in there. He didn't have very much money, but he'll get it back when he pays for his fines and does his time, so we'll make sure that's turned over to the guards as well. So there you go.
I guess I'm going to go back down to the Screaming Wyvern unless you need anything else from me.
No, I'm good. You're good.
Finish lunch.
No, you're fine. Yeah, have a 1 or 2 on me. I will be here watching after this guy rather than going to the Wyverns to enjoy ourselves. And he kind of glares at the bandit. The bandit kind of shrinks back.
The inconvenience.
Yeah, the inconvenience. Well, it's a small town. There's a reason you take jobs in small towns because there's not a whole lot of crime. Everybody knows everybody. And
Good
it's
retirement area.
there, exactly. So yeah, you head back to the Screaming Wyvern. Who is at the Screaming Wyvern at this point?
I am.
Yeah,
Made
I
it back
should
over
also.
there to
I'm still
I didn't get to eat my lunch
wandering
either,
in
so.
the middle of the town. I mean,
Nobody
I
got
went
that
up
lunch.
to.
Everybody went there at
I
lunch.
was making my way that way,
No, you'd headed that way and helped them with the mill race. Remember, that's why you got the
right?
2
And so is
gold
that
pieces.
it? There's nothing further north that we need to do.
Well, no, I mean there's the hunter's camp, but it's the Kinku. He might not be there or anything, so
Okay.
you can go check on him if you want.
Yeah, I'll go check on him.
Okay, you get to the hunter's camp, and one of the things you notice is there's a couple cabins there. You can see there's about 3 of them. One of them is collapsed completely.
I'm
No,
gonna
they were-
call out for him.
Don't hear anything. You notice one of the little cabins has collapsed completely. Of course, they're not built very well anyway. They're just kind of a place where you can stay. And the other one is damaged. Are you going to you call out?
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout out to him.
You head towards, and sure enough, sticking his head out of the collapsed rubble is the Kinku, Korik, shiny-eyed. And he looks at you and he says, I could use your help.
Okay.
And he says, yeah, help me get my stuff out of here. This is the one I was staying in. I wasn't in there, obviously. Help me get my stuff out. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
So you guys start sifting through the rubble, getting the pots and pans and stuff that he has, some of his food, his equipment and his gear, and he's gradually moving into one of the other little cabins that's there. So you didn't get the 2 gold pieces, by the way, so just make sure you do.
Okay.
It takes you most of the afternoon until it's almost dark before you get everything pulled out of there, and then
I'm gonna ask him. Did you see or hear anything before it happened that was weird?
heard the earthquake. That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
And when he finishes, he says, I really appreciate you helping me.
Come.
Here. And so he reaches into his pouch and he hands you this kind of little rough piece of stone that's very shiny. Which, Kinku are like ravens, so they like shinies.
Yep.
Hands it to you.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know if it's worth anything, but yeah, I appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
And you're going to head back to where now?
I guess I'll head back down to the Screaming Wyvern and see what people saw.
You head down to the Screaming Wyvern. Lots of the villagers have gathered down there, more than usual for an evening. Everybody's talking about the earthquake. The brewers are down there, the halflings.
Trevor Narden?
Bronzevale. The Bronzevales are down there. They've got their kids, and they're kind of sad. They're telling everybody that Corwin died, and they're trying to set up when they're going to have a funeral. They decide that they're going to have a funeral in one day, tomorrow, as soon as the church finishes doing last rites on him and stuff like that. And so they'll have a funeral. Everybody says that they're going to be there. So they're going to show up at the graveyard up there. It's right up here, and wish them well and ask them if they need anything. The Screaming Wyvern doesn't make them pay for their food, of course, that night. So yeah, everybody's kind of sad. So it's a little bit of a somber attitude, but everybody is pretty happy that no one else was hurt or was killed. Of course, the little boy who was trapped, was it Oren? Yeah, Oren. The doctor came up and took care of him. He seems like he's going to be fine. He just needs to rest a lot. And of course, the doctor, gave him some medicine, did a little bit of healing magic. So he's going to pull through, but he just needs a lot of rest now for sure.
What was his name?
Oren was the little boy who was trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, his legs were not crushed, but definitely damaged. Yeah. His dad is there, and he sees you, and so he walks up to you and he says, "Thanks for helping me get my son out of the rubble. You have my thanks."
Of course, we all have to help each other.
Well, yeah, but look, you didn't have to do all that. I appreciate what you did, and so look, I don't know how else to thank you. And so he reaches into his pouch and he pulls out 5 gold pieces, and he puts them on the counter and he says, "These are yours. It's the least I can do. Least I can do for the help you did. You probably saved my boy." And so he says, "I appreciate all the help you gave us."
How is he?
He's fine. He's fine. He's resting. He's tired. I think he's hurting a bit, but the doctor was able to help him some, and so he'll pull through. Again, if it hadn't been for you, I'm not sure we could have gotten him out of there, and he might have died. So I owe you a lot. I owe you a lot. And he kind of bubbles and gushes a little bit about how much he appreciates it, and then he orders a tankard of ale and heads over to the table. You're going to play. Give me a performance check. What are you trying to do? You trying to change the mood of the room? What do you think?
Just trying to. I don't want to change it too much because it is, don't want to be too
Kinda
somber.
Right.
But a nice,
Gotcha.
relaxing,
All right. Okay.
16.
Oh, okay. You begin playing a tune about a small village, the wonderful friends that can be found there, and all this stuff. You know, several of people seem to know the song and sing along a little bit. The mood of the room lightens a good bit. Everybody seems to be kind of happy, appreciates it. By the end of the evening, you kind of, people are heading home. They seem a little happier, and you've earned 3 silver pieces in tips.
Nice.
Yeah. The innkeeper, Ander, comes up to you and says, "I appreciate what you did there. Yeah, it could have been a much more somber attitude. I appreciate it. Tonight's on the house." So, yeah. So you kind of settle in.
Always nice.
Yeah, right. Don't have to pay for it because normally you're having to pay for it. So that's right. Everybody begins heading home. It's dark out, little nighttime. You hear several of the villagers talking about how they hope the bandits don't get them on the way home and that kind of stuff because they've heard there are bandits in the area. You hear several people talking about they'll have to work some more on seeing if the mayor needs some help with his granary. The mayor has actually even shown up at the very end of the evening as recruiting people to help rebuild the granary, so he talks to them about it. Same thing with the brewery couple. They're going to need their barn rebuilt, so they're kind of recruiting a few people to start working on that eventually. Right now, their only concern is that their son died. And you head home for the night. Things are pretty quiet. No more earthquakes. Next morning dawns bright and early, and most of you head out doing your various and sundry tasks around town. Things kind of settle in. You don't notice anything major going on. Anything you want to do for the next couple days? Anything in particular?
Was the funeral?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in 2 days, so yeah.
Okay.
We'll pick up right at the funeral, pretty much.
Was there anyone in particular who was wounded that would be aided by getting like a cure wound?
Oren, the little boy who was trapped in the rubble, could definitely use some help. You could go see his father if you want, or his family.
I'll go visit them.
All right, they are very appreciative of you helping. When you check in on the little boy, I'm going to need a medicine check from you if you wouldn't mind.
I was going to cast a spell cure wound.
Well, I know. Give me a medicine check.
I'll do medicine check too. 0, so I got a. Is that a 0? No,
That is an 11.
11.
You check him. You cast your cure light wounds on him. He kind of eats the little cupcake that you give him. He's kind of not real hungry. You can tell he's still hurting a lot. But he eats the cupcake. The color comes back to his cheeks, but he then promptly goes right back to sleep because he's very, very tired. His father is very appreciative of it. Gives you a gold piece for helping his son. And so yeah.
Well, I'll give him a
cure spell will do it. I mean, he's out of the woods.
Okay.
He's just not going to, with his legs being in such bad shape, he's just not going to jump up and dance around immediately. So, yeah. That's only for adventurers in the middle of combat. You go to 0 hit points and immediately stand right back up and start fighting. That's right. Next day dawns bright and early, and it is the day of the funeral, heading up toward the castle. The funeral's right before noon, and then everybody is going to head down to the Screaming Wyvern again for, to have some food and things like that. The brewers, the Bronzevale, have broken out one of their nicer barrels of ale to take down there to kind of celebrate the life of their son. So you head towards the castle around 10 o'clock. Let's see, Lucien Amakir is a druid, and he's the one who's going to perform the services. You go out to the cemetery. There's not a whole lot of headstones, maybe 20 or so, and there's a newly dug grave. There's a little coffin there, and the priest says a few words about how we return to the earth from which we came, the circle of life being what it is, that even though he had such a short life, that remember that new life can spring from him. Very druidic, okay? And then they start filling in the hole. And there's a little headstone at the front that says Corwin Bronzevale. Very simple little headstone. That takes maybe an hour or so, and everybody starts heading down to the Screaming Wyvern again. You're down there at the Screaming Wyvern, drinking some ale, having some bread, cheese, and stuff like that. You notice, you start to hear some rumors. Everybody give me a perception check. Yeah.
I got a 14.
Okay.
Ooh, got a 14.
16 you said? A 14, 14. What'd you get?
24.
Wow, you are a perception boy.
perception.
That's right.
Must we
I
get-
got a 3.
Okay, you don't hear anything.
Natural, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a 7.
Yeah, you don't hear anything. All right, so
Busy.
you're kind of sitting around there, though all of you do hear that several people in the towns have been having bad dreams. Several of them are talking about how they feel like they've been buried alive. Torbera Torin, she's the miller, who actually makes the flour and stuff like that, talks about that she keeps having a dream about a shining man walking towards her. She's had this dream for 2 nights running. It's weird that it's the same dream. And so she keeps having a dream about a shining man. They actually wheel Orin down there to have a little bit of something to eat. He looks much better since you've seen him last. He's down there in what looks like a little wooden wheelchair contraption that they've got. You also notice that the bandit has been shipped off to the duchy. So a group of soldiers came through and got him the day before. But yeah, lots of bad dreams going on in the town.
Do I know this too? Even though I got 3.
You still heard about people having bad
Okay.
dreams. That's kind of the talk of the town right now. Now, those of you who got a 14 through 16, you notice that Ava and Raina, 2 of the girls in the town. Ava is a young teenager who is one of the farmer's daughter, and Raina, who is the mayor's daughter, are over whispering in the corner about something. And as you get kind of closer, you can hear that they're whispering about that they've seen someone peeping in their windows at night. Now, both of these girls are teenagers, kind of almost women. They're very pretty. And so you're kind of like, you may have a peeping Tom around the town. You're not sure.
Immediately talk to my squirrel delight.
Okay.
Are you peeping at people?
The squirrel says no.
Okay.
I go to my snake. Are you peeping at people?
You hear the scene, and she's going, and you're like, wait, you get what? No,
I'm
Everyone
drinking
else is.
water
I
and
talk to
looking
myself.
up.
Am I peeping at people?
Yeah. Give me a roll. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Give me a roll.
Oh god.
No. So no, but they're talking about that they've seen people looking in their windows,
Take
and so
water
it,
to a familiar and be like, are you peeping?
they haven't told their dads yet because they think it may be one of the boys in the town, and all the people around here know each other. If it turns out that one of the boys in the town is peeping on them, it could be a big deal. Especially the mayor would probably lose his mind over it because he's very protective of his daughter, and he wants her to marry a good nobleman, so he wants her unsullied and stuff like that. So yeah, something like that could be a big scandal. So they're a little concerned about it.
With that in mind, I guess whenever night falls or whatever, I'll kind of do a stakeout at one of their houses.
Okay,
Kinda-
hold on. You get a 24, right?
Yep.
You're over there kind of walking around, and you notice that Orin, the boy who's in the wheelchair right now, and he's talking to his brother Hiram, excuse me. And they're sitting over there at a table eating and stuff like that.
Oh, Hiram's a good name.
Yeah,
That's
Hiram
my
and Orin.
grandfather's name.
Oh,
Really?
That's a good name. They're sitting there talking, and the 2 girls kind of come over and are talking to them too. And at which point, that the girls are kind of whispering to each other, and Orin goes, "So you've seen it too?" And the girls go, "What?" And they turn to Orin, and Orin goes, "Somebody looking in my window. They thought I was sleeping, but somebody's been looking at my window." And Hiram says, "Me too." So you're kind of like, well, that's weird. Peeping on boys and girls, unless there's multiple peepers, which is possible. But you're kind of like, that's weird. Yeah, very interesting.
Big opportunity.
That's-
Right.
Jeepers creepers, where'd you get the peepers?
What time of day is this?
It's right around noon.
Right around noon.
Yeah.
Because this is just after the service.
The funeral, right.
The funeral. In that case, since everyone's here, are you by yourself?
Me,
You're probably sitting at a table with a bunch of the villagers. If everybody in the village is there, then that means the tavern's pretty full. So yeah,
yeah.
Because I imagine that I would probably be around the bar area.
which means you're close to her.
I'd be at the bar
Yeah.
area because Trin's a gnome, so I like hanging out with her.
I'd probably be there too. Getting my drink on.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm doing.
He brought up the fine stuff today. Gotta get while you can.
Yeah. You're also there probably playing a little bit of music and something like that, and you are definitely being flirted with pretty heavily by Trista Marzin, who is the dark-haired barmaid. She's kind of buxom and has a bit of a reputation.
And I'm floating right back.
Yeah, she I guess likes satyrs.
I'm gonna find you.
Okay.
Find Holt. She's like, Holt, how have you been?
not too bad. Been busy. Been working a lot.
Repairing fences. Yep.
Sorry I didn't come over and help right away with the fence there. You know, it was stuff going on in the sawmill and...
It's no problem. I mean, there's stuff going on all over town, so we got it done.
Well, that's good.
How'd it go with the sawmill?
It's heavy.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
That's why I stayed at the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole water wheel came right on off.
Ooh.
We had to put it back.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. Now I'm curious, like, are you sitting by yourself? You sitting like with the...
He's probably sitting with the rest of the shepherds and stuff like that.
shepherds.
Yeah, that's what I would figure.
The
Yeah.
crew.
Have you seen Cork?
You know, I haven't seen him anytime recently, really. I did go north looking for a lost sheep. Never did find it, but, you know, I didn't run into Korik either.
The Kenku is not there. He's very much a loner. Not. Also, Miriam Thistledown is not there, too. She really doesn't come into town very often,
Yeah.
and so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was here, but I really need to go over there and visit him. Like, not gonna lie, I feel kind of bad that I didn't go the day of the earthquake to see how he was doing.
I'm sure he was out and about if it was during the day, so I'm sure he was fine.
Fair enough. I will say I did pass by his little hut, but I didn't see him that morning. With that, I think I'll just kind of make my way back to the bar and sit with some of the other guys.
Have a good one, Jethro.
You as well.
Hi, chicken.
What time of day is it?
It's around noonish.
Is you said is Lucian here?
Who?
Lucian, the
Yes. Yes.
Priest guy?
Everybody's
Yeah.
there.
I would like to go over and talk to him really quick, just to be like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't come check on you all at the church yesterday. I was or come for my studies after work. You know, with everything going on, it was a little bit crazy.
He says, I understand. We were busy most of the evening healing people and, well, you know, handling the last rites for the young boy and also getting ready for today to bury him. So that's okay. It's okay. We've been busy as well. And, you know, there are things that need fixing around the town after the earthquake. Strange thing, that earthquake. We haven't had one of those for almost 20 years. It's weird.
Yeah, I feel like I was maybe a baby whenever the last one came through.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, he's Elvin, so, you know, for him, it was just yesterday. But, you know, he says, yeah, you know, it is weird that we've had earthquakes everywhere as well. But, you know, honestly, the mountains north of here are a little unstable. There's a few dormant volcanoes that have been there for a while, so, you know, they do come from time to time that we get earthquakes here. It's the only second one I know of, so.
Thanks, and I'll definitely be sure to not miss my future lessons.
Sounds good. We do need to keep
Still
up
be
your studies and make sure you are continuing to understand the things that you need to know to be a druid.
Yeah, I'm gonna seek out Gruma and Bruno. Are they at the tavern?
Oh, yeah, everybody's there, yeah.
I'm
If somebody wanted to break into any of the houses in the town, now's the time to do it, because everybody's there.
Oh, those guys just came a day too early.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to him like, can we keep something just between us? You know, don't raise alarm.
And so Gruna goes, of course we can.
There's been supposed sightings of people peeping in windows of
Oh, people.
Reyna and Ava, or whatever they're called. I might do a little stakeout tonight, just let you know, see what's going on.
Gruna
It's
says,
just a peeping Tom or something worse. We've had the bandits, you know, so
Yeah,
I'll make
well-
sure it's not them.
well, that's true. It could be one of the bandits or something like that, or another group of bandits, but we've got a lot of young boys in the town. And which girls were saying that they were being peeped on?
Reyna and
Oh,
Ava?
God, the mayor's daughter? Oh,
Yeah, that's
that,
one.
that could be a mess. And who else?
Was it Ava?
Ava, yeah.
Ava?
Ava's a bit of a looker herself. I could see why one of the local boys might be wanting to see what she looks like when she's it was in her bedroom or something like that.
That's what I overheard. Something about just a window staring at him. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, we've got lots of local boys, some of them who are probably getting to the point where they're starting to notice these young girls around here. We'll have to keep an eye on it. So you're going to do a stakeout at their
Right.
place?
And I'll keep it hush not to, you know.
Right.
ruffle feathers and all that.
Especially,
Being a small town and everything, you know.
I would advise you to maybe stay away from the mayor's house. If he catches you outside, he's liable to accuse you just because that's how he is.
But he has to catch me.
Well, that's true. But definitely check Ava's house for sure.
I'll go with that place first then.
Right. Because, you know, her father is a good farmer. He's, you know, been here a long time. And so the farms we're talking about are kind of these two farms right there.
It's not too far away from us anyway.
Right. Which is interesting because it's not too far away from Hira's house and stuff like that, and not too far from the mayor's house either.
I don't know this, but also around where Oren has been being spied on as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so you're going to set that up. Anybody else want to do anything?
I'm just gonna go over and visit with Trin and see how she's doing. Does the bar need more pastries or anything from my parents to help them tonight since they're packed?
Always, yeah.
Right, so I tell her that I'm gonna go get some more and I'll bring them over.
Right.
Because my parents have been baking extra just in case.
Right. So you're going to head and pick them up right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, they definitely need some more pastries. They say if you can go get some from your parents, that would be wonderful. So you head out the door to go to the bakery. The bakery's only, not very far
it's
away.
not far. It won't take me but a few minutes.
Right. So it takes you probably maybe 15 minutes. You load up a basket full with some more tarts and things like that, some bread, and head back over there. You don't see anybody in the town. I mean, everybody who is in the town
Is in the
tavern and stuff like that. You see, in fact, it's enough people that they're actually spilling out onto the yard outside the Screaming Wyvern Inn because there's just not enough room for everybody to sit in the common room.
Well, then when I go in, I'll offer to Trin that instead of just giving her the pastries, if she wants, I can just carry the basket around.
Oh, yeah.
And let people buy them from me and then give her the money.
Yeah, well,
make it easier.
she'll buy them from you, and then you just keep track of who gets them from you. She'll charge them for them, and of course you're running working tables too. You actually probably don't talk to Trin. You probably actually talk to Orlin.
Oh,
Okay,
Orlin.
and she probably is handling that business because I expect everybody else is pretty busy. And to be absolutely honest, when you try and get Tristan. That's the dark-haired one. She's pretty busy talking to the satyr over there. By the way, Ava is the other
who's
barmaid
Tristan?
as well, so you know her pretty well. So this is the one who said she thought somebody was
Is
keeping him.
Tristan?
Okay.
Oh, Trista. She's the.
Trista,
Oh, she's one of the
the barmaids,
Yeah,
right?
barmaids.
She's the one
Yeah.
that's dark-haired, buxom, and has a bit of a reputation. So you two set up, and she's supposed to keep track of what any stuff she sells, and then you'll charge them for them and collect their money and all the other good
You
stuff.
just see she's
Yeah.
using the frostbite cantrip to just kind of cool all the mugs that we're putting.
That's nice. That's
Oh
nice.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You asked me to do that? I'll start.
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm doing
So
that.
she does it.
Oh, never
because
mind.
she's a sorceress. Yeah.
Well, I have cantrips too, so I can. I think I don't have frostbite.
No, you don't.
Yeah, frostbite level 0 cantrip.
Do you have that one? Is it prepared?
It's a cantrip. Oh,
Prepared?
I have to. No.
The only
You don't get access to all 30 cantrips.
The only cantrips I have
That'd be nice.
prepared are spare the dying and hard biscuits.
Yeah. That's not your cantrips.
That's
Your cantrips
I heard
are.
about that cantrip.
Oh, it's magic stone. That's
I
actually your
wrong?
first level spells.
Oh,
yeah,
magic
that's your first
stone.
level
Right, I
spells. Tony.
forgot.
I'll put
Yeah.
magic
No, you're
stone
right.
next to it
I
so
lied.
you guys know.
No, I lied. You're right. You're correct. You also have minor illusions, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I lied. You're right. You're absolutely correct on those.
Finally,
Hard
I'm
biscuit
right.
is just magic stones.
Yeah.
She just throws hard biscuits at people.
I love that flavor.
All her spells are bakery based. She actually carries a little stool with her because she's a gnome, and she flings it at people using her catapult spell.
And I have a pot
Nice.
in my head for my. It's really a helmet, but it's a little.
Well, you're
pot.
not wearing that right now. That would be hard to, serve people with a pot on your
Not
head.
really,
Like a
because it has a. I use
No, you're not wearing
the
your pot.
handles as strap.
No. Nobody would wear their pot helm right now. Nobody's wearing armor. You might have your weapons with you, but you wouldn't be armored after going to
Anyway,
I
so
probably got mine on. I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
do, because you're, because
keep
you're the
mine
guy.
always because of the
Yeah.
security and everything.
Right.
I think I would wear it because you never know when somebody needs a stew.
Well, I don't want any hats.
Is it a
dude.
fashion?
Fair hair stew.
Say that now.
Yeah, hair stew is
You
no.
I haven't
right
tried it,
out.
so-
Hair stew,
Don't
no.
knock it till you try it.
You know,
Right?
have you heard of stone soup?
Yeah.
Hair soup.
Hair-
Same
hair
concept.
stew?
If I hear you say this, and I just kind of like side eye you and be like,
Sounds
"You've had more
chewy.
hair stew than you know."
It's only a single hair. Would anybody notice?
Hair stew. All right.
Yeah.
Most people think it's rabbit stew. Little do they know.
The
See what you did there.
the after I guess the gathering at the Screaming Wyvern lasts probably till around 4 or 5 o'clock. And then everybody starts to kind of head back to their different houses and things like that. Everybody's kind of taking the day off from work today to, commemorate the young boy and remember
Right.
him. And I'll see, again, many people ask his parents, is there anything you need? And, they're, no, we're fine. We just want to get back to brewing and things like that. But they're still pretty sad. Anybody else want to do anything in particular?
Yeah, whenever it comes time when everything's kind of winding down, whenever Averell starts to leave. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, Abrael.
Averell.
Yeah.
That's when I'm going to get up. Whenever we start like actually going outside, like, excuse me, Averell.
Nice work you did back there with the bandit boy.
Oh yeah, it was nothing. Hey, have you heard what some of the kids been talking about? People looking through windows.
Oh yeah, Ava and Raina.
Oh yeah,
Some
them.
peepers or something like that.
But I've also heard that from some little boys. So they've
Boys,
also
too?
had some people.
Those girls and those boys. That's quite concerning.
That is. I just figured I should let someone who, actually handles some of the stuff around here know.
Right. I'll bring it up with Bruno and Gruma and let them know. I'm actually going to stick out a little bit tonight to see what's up. Make sure it's nothing malicious with the bandits and everything being present. You ever thought about mercenary work?
No.
You're quite large. I feel like you'd be very good at it. And I just kind of like pan all the way up.
You could probably actually
7'9".
convince Gruna. You could probably convince Gruna, who is the sheriff, to hire him as a deputy on a temporary basis while you're doing stakeout. At least on a temporary case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to lend a hand where I can, but figure I'd leave all the important stuff to other people.
All right. Well, if I need a strong arm sometime, can I call on you maybe?
Oh,
Maybe
sure.
push you a temporary deputy, a silver a day or whatever.
Yeah. You've done that before with some of the farmers' boys who you need help with stuff when you need more people patrolling. So you get that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, good to know. Thanks for the tip. I'll make sure to watch Orange as well. We don't want any skullduggery and nefarious types here.
Definitely not. Like I said, there's still 2 in those woods. I don't know if they're still there.
Fair enough.
Anybody else going to do anything in particular? It's kind of winding down. Head back to your places. You're probably going to spend the rest of the evening playing in the tavern. You want to head back to the... You actually live at the shepherd's house. He's got a little outbuilding where you can live.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll head back, and as I go out, I'll toss a little 2 copper pieces into your
Ooh.
tip jar.
Toss a coin to your... Don't that's copyrighted. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Toss a coin to Elias.
Yeah.
Satyr.
Yeah, the
Your
satyr.
satyr. Hey, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, there you
Your
go.
satyr, I like it.
Evening winds down. Everybody kind of heads back to their various places of business. You're still working in the tavern. Where are you going to head?
I bring her all the money that I've collected from some of
Yeah.
the pastries, and I'm gonna head back because the baker hours are early.
That's true. So you head back. Your mom and dad walk back with you because they, of course, were there too. And they head to bed, and you head to bed because it is going to be early hours. You are heading out to do a stakeout, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where are you planning to stake out? Show me on the map.
We'll do Ava's farm. She's the one who is the daughter of the.
Right. So that would be the little orangey farm right there. Okay.
And I'm gonna whisper to my little snake friend to help me keep
Sure.
watch.
Sure.
Let me know if he sees anything.
I'll give you advantage on that.
Okay.
On your perception checks then. Sun goes down. So you stake it out. I need a perception check from you, please.
All right. Can I also do a stealth roll as well?
Yes. Do that first and then do a perception.
Okay. Hey, that's what Daddy likes. It's a 27 stealth.
Oh, that's good. You are sneaky.
Oh yeah. Just woven my clothes into grass. Ooh, perception's not so hot. That's 11.
Okay. Give advantage on stealth. That's right.
Thanks. Yeah. Well,
Or no, stealth perception. Sorry.
much better. 18 for
All right.
perception.
Very
Okay.
good. You kind of have found a little area of tall grass nearby that you are hidden in. It's kind of hard to stay awake because it is very quiet and peaceful, but you're able to keep yourself awake, kind of humming the last song that he played on the lute in the bar. You've also brought a little bit of biscuits or bread from the tavern as well, and probably some water to drink to keep yourself awake. It's quiet, very quiet evening. Stars are bright. The moon is about half, so there's a little bit of light, so you can see kind of well. You don't have dark vision, do you?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. You're sitting there, you're looking
Up to
around.
60 foot.
Huh? Yeah, 60 foot.
Yeah.
You see the lights in the farm buildings go out. Seems like the family has gone to sleep. You haven't seen any dark shapes moving around. Gets to be about midnight, and again, you're having a little trouble staying awake, so you're drinking water and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you see a shadowy figure coming from the direction of this farm. Okay. It seems to be walking towards the house or the farm where you are, which is the little orange building farm.
Okay.
It's kind of skulking through the grass, seems to be
So
moving.
they're trying to be stealthy.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to be stealthy, yeah.
I guess I'm gonna wait and kind of watch what they do.
It's definitely humanoid. You can't see very well because, again, it is very dark. When he gets
short,
about medium height, yeah, maybe your height, a little stockier than you. So the person starts heading out towards, heading towards the farm and gets within about maybe 60 feet of you and stops.
Do y'all feel like they've seen me? Or?
And it looks around and you hear sniffs and then turns and looks straight at you.
I bolt.
Okay, you run.
Go to them.
Oh, towards them?
Towards them.
Okay, so you're drawing your weapons and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay, initiative.
Alright.
What kind of Yuan-Ti are you? Are you like the more humanoid one or like
Humanoid.
the snake
So
one?
I've got kind of like green scales that kind of freckle about. I've got very much like snake-like eyes, forked tongue. I've got some kind of scales that go down to my forearms and my calves.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the moment you said bolt, I was like,
Yeah. Alright. I got a 13 for my initiative.
It got a 20.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fast.
Well, I rolled really well too. So as usual. So as you start, moving towards this creature, you get ready to draw your weapons, and instead the creature sprints towards you, and then all of a sudden launches itself into the air. What's your AC?
15.
15. Oh, and it missed. Okay, it launches itself at you, and you kind of quickly roll out of the way, and the thing lands right where you were. It's close enough that you can see it now. This creature is kind of humanoid. It's got long fangs and it's got claws, but you've never seen anything like this
Could
before.
I make a history check to maybe see if I
Absolutely.
maybe read a book sometime?
Right, absolutely.
I trained at the West Gate. Maybe they have
Sure,
something.
yeah.
Guard of West Gate, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't think so.
Okay.
Let's see, that's gonna be a solid 9.
But it's
okay,
got
that was
claws.
just your history check to remember if you read a book.
That's right.
Did I ever read a book before?
No, you have not yet.
Now.
The creature has drawn a club. It's a very crude-looking club from its belt, and it leaps at you and misses, and then takes a swing at you with the club once you've rolled out of the way, and it misses. Club comes flying loose from its hand because it just completely drops it, and it turns towards you and kind of lets out this hooting noise, whoo, whoo, like that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Kind
weird.
of tribalistic, like.
Something, yeah, very tribalistic, and its eyes actually are glowing dimly red.
Okay.
Your turn.
I am going to call out, "Somebody guards! We have an intruder!" And then I'm going to attack.
Okay, go for it.
And I've got rapier in one hand and dagger in the other.
Probably good.
That's going to be a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit easy.
Alright.
Was that like a rapier or a dagger?
Rapier, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
First I produce my rapier, and then I produce my dagger.
that's right.
Then he produces murder.
Murder. No, Judas. That'll be 10 piercing.
Ooh, wow. Okay,
Yeah, I got really good roll and
that's good stuff.
got high dex. Alright, then now my dagger.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a 17 to hit.
Oh yeah,
Okay. This one's not gonna be quite as nice.
it's just dagger and all
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gonna be 4 damage. Got
That's
max
nice,
damage
yeah.
on the dagger. So
All right. So you lean in towards this creature, and the rapier the rapier plunges into its chest, and the thing looks like a whoo noise like that. The dagger almost skitters across scales or maybe tough skin, but eventually hooks in kind of a crack, and you're able to thrust it in there, and the creature lets out kind of a hiss like that. All right, next round.
Alright.
It's going to swing at you with its club and then try and bite you.
Okay.
What's your AC?
15.
All right, it hits you.
Alright.
Oh wait, it dropped the club. It's going to claw them. Okay. Let's see. It got a 2, 4 points. Oh yeah, 4 points of damage from the club. Poof. And then it tries to bite you. Ooh, and hit. Let's see. 6 more.
Alright, I'm down.
Uh-oh, you go down. All right.
Yep.
you drop to the ground. You at 0 or what? Okay.
Exactly at 0.
And about that time, as you're kind of lying there, the creature comes moving towards you. You can kind of smell that it smells like unwashed human or something like that. So the thing doesn't take a bath. And as it moves closer towards you, the door opens to the house. And out comes the farmer, and he's got a sword. And his son, who is the one that you guys saved, or that you saved, Hiram, he's only 14, so he's not very old, has also got what looks like a crossbow or something like that, and they come out. And the creature, when the light hits it, you can see briefly, it's a very pale human with really scraggly hair, lightly glowing eyes, fangs, and the claws it's got, are not very long, but when the light hits it, it goes, whoo, whoo, and sprints off into the darkness.
Okay.
The farmer comes out and sees you lying there and says, "What are you doing outside my house?" You're bleed. Right?
Well, I'm unconscious, so...
Well, yeah. He takes you inside, and so, a couple minutes go by, and he's kind of bandaged your wounds, and you wake up, and he says, "What are you doing outside my house?"
I was performing a stakeout, and I overheard reports of people peeping in the windows.
Peeping on my daughters?
Your daughters, and Oren, and Raina.
Oh,
So
wait,
I came
you were at
to
the...
investigate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you were at the farmer's house. That
Yeah,
worked.
I was at Ava's or whatever.
Right.
I know.
So the guy who actually showed up was from here.
Okay.
Probably the most prosperous farmer in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in his house, and he says, peeping.
Right. Did you not see the creature?
I did. What was that?
I haven't seen that before in my life.
Yeah, and me neither. Nothing I've ever seen that looked like that before. Seemed pretty tough.
Well, it packs a hell of a punch, too.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to make it back to he recognizes you.
Yeah.
He says you're going to be able to make it back to the jail tonight.
I should be alright. I'll make sure to carry a torch, and
Yeah.
that should make
He
it.
grabs a torch, lights it for you, and says, "Well, be careful. You want me to walk you back down there?"
No, just take care of your people. I've got it from
All right.
here. I've seen worse.
Yeah.
And blood.
He locks the door after you go out. Anything you want to do?
I do want to go back where we fought,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe get like a blood sample or a tissue, like its
Yeah.
skin come off or something like that.
No, well,
maybe.
you stabbed it, so there's blood.
Yeah.
Your blood and its blood.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check,
Okay.
real quick.
It's gonna be a 16.
Okay. You're kind of looking around. You don't really see much of a blood trail from this thing, but you do see its club, which it left there. The club, for all intents and purposes, looks like maybe a stone urn.
Stone urn.
Urn, yeah,
Oh,
like a vase.
like maybe from the cemetery.
Like maybe from the cemetery. Yeah, very strange.
I'm gonna grab it as evidence, I guess.
Right.
And I guess if there's nothing else that I can perceive,
No, it doesn't seem like it.
I'm gonna limp my way down to the jail. I'm
Right.
gonna make sure I take the roads.
Right.
And have my torch lit.
Right.
Because I don't know if the light has something to do with it's maybe a version, and that's why we only seen it at night and stuff. So
Right.
I'm gonna make sure I stay well lit.
Right.
Rapier in one hand.
Yeah.
I guess urn in one hand and torch in the other.
Well, you can put the urn in your belt if you want. I mean, you don't
Okay.
have to carry it.
I'll do that then. Rapier in one hand, torch in
Yeah, it
the other.
definitely looks like maybe one of the little stone funerary urns that was sitting on one of the gravestones or something like that. Yeah, for sure. You head back down, get to the jailer's house, and you have a little cot in the back where you sleep. You kind of stumble in. Bruno is in there. He's kind of taking care of what looks like the paperwork that he had to handle for the Duchy's men, the Grand Duchy's men when they came through. And he sees you coming in, you're all covered in blood, and he says, "Oh my gosh, what happened to you?"
Had a little rough and a tumble with a peeper.
A peeper?
Aye, but this one wasn't of the normal variety. It had pale
No,
skin.
not one of the local boys, eh?
No, that'd have been a whole lot nicer. And I
Yeah.
kind of groan and wince.
Oh, you look like you're in bed. Do I need to call the doctor? I can send for her.
Well, I'll just sleep it off. It'll be all
Okay,
right.
all right.
I appreciate the...
Well, look, go crash
Sorry,
it. Tell me about it in the morning. You go rest, and he gets some bandages out. Make sure most of your wounds are bandaged, but any other scratches and stuff like that, you can kind of put some bandages on and make sure they turn out okay. And you go collapse in your cot. I believe you'll heal all your hit points damage overnight, right?
Yeah, the long rest.
Long rest. It's definitely a long rest.
Yeah, I've definitely taken
Yeah.
might take 2.
Yeah. Anybody else doing anything? Okay.
At night?
At night, yes.
No, I'm sleeping.
Next day dawns bright and early.
I was peeping.
Yeah, Anybody else want to do anything? Next day dawns bright and early. Again, the village is kind of getting back to normal after the funeral for little boy Corwin. Anybody want to do anything in particular?
Well, at 3 a.m. I'm up like baking.
Yeah, you're baking. Lots of baking going on.
I might get up early and stop by the bakery.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to deliver. I'll just go pick up whatever we need to do and just stop by and talk.
All right. It's early. It's probably around 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe something like that. And Orlin wanders into the bakery. Since she wants to pick up the load of bread and pastries for the day for the Screaming Wyvern.
I come in and I'm just like, it smells like heaven in here.
Oh, thank you.
It actually smells really
We
good.
strive to make a good product. And I pull
Well,
out the
Tell you it's very
trays.
popular at the inn, so you do a good job.
good. Hand you the trays.
All right.
Or
Are they
the two
just
baskets, rather.
Oh, okay?
Yeah, a couple
basket.
baskets
That'd be
probably.
easier.
Trays. I was hoping to put together like a I'm doing an Irish accent. That's not what I'm doing.
I know,
was
like
hoping
he
to put
is, he
together
was.
The opera music was fucking.
like a get well soon basket for the hydrant boy.
Do this to me.
Like something like
Get my dogs,
cupcakes or cookies. I don't know what he's allowed to eat.
Look at the basket, my boy.
Relevant.
So what are you looking for?
I'm asking her to put together a gift basket that
for
I'm going to
Pedro's,
deliver
okay.
to them.
You can do that.
Get
You've got
well
some cookies and some
kind of thing.
pastries that
And
you can put together.
Maybe one for. I'll get two for the one for the for the Bronzeville family also.
Okay,
like a
you can do that.
condolence.
For sure. You gonna do that there?
Put the stuff in the baskets?
Right, for her?
Yeah.
Well, she also wants a care package for 2 of the farmers.
Oh, okay. So I put the baskets together, and then for the 2 farmers, I'll do the specials with that have like healing. And,
Yeah. Oh, you can put healing stuff in there. Oh,
Alright,
okay.
nice.
All right. Remember that counts as a couple of your spell points for the day, so just keep that. Okay, so you
extra tasty.
put together a
Put some
couple little
whipped cream
care
on.
packages with cookies and cakes and some things like that. Probably some nice bread, maybe some butter that goes with it. It's going to cost about a silver piece for total. So you have the 2 baskets for the Screaming Wyvern and then the 2 care packages, right?
Right. I'll obviously drop off the
Right.
Screaming Wyvern's bread first, and then I'll make deliveries. I'll go by the Hydron family's farm first, and the Bronzeville family.
All right. So Trim says that there's not a whole lot of people in early in the morning. So yeah, take the morning if you need to go deliver that real quick. So you head up to the Hydront family. Hydront family is right again the blue farm right there. So you kind of have to walk around up the road, walking by the fields. Fields are full of wheat and corn. It's nearly time to harvest. So you head up to the little farm. You can see that the family is outside. Several of the farm hands are out there actually in the field. As you come walking up to the house, you notice Glenfear sees you and waves. And actually comes out to meet you and says, "Oh, it's our savior. Did you need something?"
No, I just I actually came to drop this off for your family, so
He says, "Well, you didn't have to do that, but thank you. That's very kind of you."
oh, no problem at all. I'm just checking around on everyone.
Orin's doing well. He's doing well. He's not sleeping real well, but I'm sure that's because his legs are hurting him and stuff like that. He says, "Speaking of sleeping well, have you been having dreams or anything like that?"
Have I?
No, you haven't actually.
Not. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. What do you mean?
Well, I've been having these dreams where I see everybody in the town, all my friends and things like that, but as they walk towards me, their skin melts and falls off and they die at my feet. It's really disconcerting. These people are all my friends. They're almost like family, and I've woken up several times with this terrible plague dream where like they're all dying from some kind of terrible disease. It's really, really, I don't know. I'm not sleeping like I should. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I did go through something very traumatic, so it could be that. But if spending any time with Miriam has taught me anything, it's that you can't really discount the meaning of dreams sometimes. So
Yeah, maybe I need to go check on and see if Miriam
she
can
would
help
be a
me.
good person to talk to if you are looking for some sort of meaning.
Well, she's not far from here. I'll go see if I can. I mean, I don't go talk to her very much. She's kind of a little crazy. She's not crazy. but the townspeople think she's kind of crazy.
Probably works that to her advantage.
Yeah, people leave her alone that way. And so he says, well, maybe I'll see if the doctor can give me something that would help me sleep. Maybe that's not a bad idea. He says, a good idea.
Off, like the description of his dream, is there any like iconography or anything that means anything?
You remember hearing people talking about bad dreams of, like being buried alive at the wake yesterday, and some people talking about seeing a shining man coming towards them, but that's it. It seems like a lot of people in the town are having bad dreams, but with all the stuff that's happened,
Right.
that's not unusual at all.
Could be post-traumatic
It
stress.
could be. So yeah.
So yeah, after I talk to him, and I'll head over to the Bronze Veil house and drop off their care package.
They've got several people who are working on fixing the storage barn outside their house, and it's coming along pretty well. When you walk up, you see that Finro is out there, and he's directing, the building. Looks like actually one of the journeyman carpenters is out there actually supervising as well, and so he's conversing with Finro, and looks like they bought some lumber from maybe the sawmill, and so they're setting all of this up. As you walk up, Finro and turns towards you and says, "Oh, Miriam, look, the next barrel of ale is not going to be ready for probably a day or so."
Oh, I wouldn't dream of bothering you about that right now.
Oh, well, we got to keep things moving.
I've just come to drop off this for your family, and I was talking to Trim, and we are going to work out. We want to make sure that your family doesn't have to worry about meals for a while.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Yeah, well, we're doing fine, and I mean, everybody around here has been just so good to us. Better for us to keep a little bit busy, keeps our mind off of the loss of Corwin. But yeah, sure. If we need anything, we'll be sure to let you and Trin know. I really appreciate it. This is nice. Thank you for the basket of goodies. I'll be sure to share it with the rest of the kids. They do have lots of kids, so it's probably not bad to have goodies. Oh, thank you. Well, I've got to get back to working on the storage shed, so yeah. I'll probably bring down the barrel of ale in a couple days, the next one that's ready.
We'll be ready.
Is Bruno in yet? Not Bruno, Gruno.
Bruno comes in. Bruno's kind of sleeping because he was working the night shift, so yeah.
I'll inform her
About what
of
happened?
everything I saw. And
She's a little concerned. She says, next time, maybe see if you can take someone with you. I don't want to lose you.
oh, hey, I'll definitely be taking at least one or two people.
Yeah, look, see if you can. If you need to deputize a few people, that's fine. We can pay them a silver a night. Well, okay, let's start with a copper a night, and then if you need to sweeten the deal, you can go to a silver.
Right.
But yeah, let's see if we can get a few people from the town to help you with it.
What do you want to do about the mayor? Tell him, or he might need to be informed, maybe.
No, let's handle it ourselves. That's what the mayor pays us for. And then if it gets to be a problem, we will definitely let him know. But we're the ones who are supposed to handle those problems while the mayor handles mayorly things.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I have a person or two in mind.
Okay.
I'll take out with me. Probably gonna go back to it tonight. It seems like they came from the mayor's direction, not his house, but
Right.
north,
From that general direction.
northeast.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good. You gonna head out and try and recruit some people?
Yeah, gonna go to Jethro first.
All right, Jethro. He's at the actually he's probably out working in the sawmill, getting some of the lumber sliced up. He's a strapping lad. He's good for him to push the logs through and stuff like that, so they can get them nice and plain flat. So, you gonna try and convince him?
Yeah, Jethro, about that deputizing stuff. Silver a day. What do you think?
So then imagine you come up, I'm like, hold on!
Use a silver piece a day. It's not bad.
Silver piece a day? That doesn't sound bad at all.
That's probably about twice what you make in a day's work at the sawmill.
True.
And fair warning. I don't know if you can tell by the state of me right now, but I got pretty fucked up last night. Whatever it was.
You do look a little rough.
Oh, I haven't seen quite wounds like this in a long while. It being a peaceful village. The the foe, the creature, as it were. It's very much a creature-like.
Creature.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the boys. It's been a whole lot easier to take care of. He had pale skin, glowing red eyes. Actually, I thought I was quite well hidden. I'm pretty good at that. And he smelled me out, sniffed me out, like a beast would.
Yeah.
And scraggly hair, long claws. He packed quite a wallop. I might need your help.
Interesting.
Make a nature check. You don't have nature, but you can make a check anyway.
For a 16 total.
All right.
Nice.
You think that probably the red glowing eyes means that he has, really, really good dark vision. You've heard of that. Some creatures, their eyes glow red because that's what allows them to see so far in the dark. So he may have really, really good dark vision.
And there were no words, just a bunch of kind of screeching like a monkey, maybe.
That's definitely strange.
Mm.
But judging
But
by
it
the
could've been a
fact
club.
that would have club.
So it's like somewhere between beast and man, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's definitely strange then. With him having such pale skin and the glowing red eyes, it's possible he's some kind of nocturnal creature.
It would make sense why he saw me out.
Alrighty, so you've got your first deputy. Anybody else you want to deputize?
Is there a decently well-known healer type, of the mystical sense?
Well, there's a doctor, but the doctor's not going to want to do that.
Yeah,
She has a. There's the wise woman of the woods, but you don't know whether she would really want to do a stake out with you. You do know that the little gnome tends to have potions and cakes that are healing in that line.
Yeah, I'll stop by her magical cake shop.
Yeah, it's about 10 o'clock. Avriel comes into your shop, Satra. The door jingles.
Are you with me, or are you still at the sawmill doing stuff?
Oh, since you said something about stakeout, I figured I was going to finish my day's work and then...
Yeah, they probably need you at the sawmill right now, for sure.
Avriel, what are you doing here? You don't normally come by here.
Oh, yeah, well, I've got to keep my womanly figure, so I can't eat too many sweets.
Oh.
But I've heard you've got a few skills in the healing department.
Yes.
So, I've got a wee bit of an issue.
Okay.
And I might need someone with your certain type of skills to help back me up.
Okay.
I'd be able to deputize you, a silver a day.
All right.
Now the jailhouse, or the jailers, they're only paying me to get you up for a copper a day, but I'm gonna sweeten the deal because I need good work.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm not necessarily saying you need to get in the fight, because the fight is probably what it's gonna be, but just help us stay in the fight. It's
Okay.
you and Jethro are gonna be with me to stake this out.
Okay.
Anybody else want to do anything? Any other ambition tonight before we do our first big stakeout?
Is when I go back to the inn, are you an out of towner?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's been in town for probably a couple, 3 weeks, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So not like immediate stranger danger vibes. Okay.
Nah, he's been here for a while.
But after hearing this stuff, are there any customers at this early hour at the inn or not? Really?
No, not quite yet. I mean, it's probably him. He's the only one there, probably having breakfast or maybe a brunch or something like that, depending on how late he sleeps.
Okay. All right. Well, I was gonna ask around about the drinks, but nobody's out and about yet.
You can ask the Screaming Wyvern owners.
Oh yeah, the brush gatherers.
Yeah, Ander and Trin.
I was hearing some talk around town about the people having dreams.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd heard them talking about that at the wake yesterday, but we haven't had any. I mean, we've slept pretty well. And he says, Trim, you've had any dreams? Trim says, no dreams. No, it's been fine. Slept
what
well.
about you?
Oh,
You got that too good. Yeah.
I'll just go about doing the prep work.
So what kind of dreams are they talking? You're hearing about?
Well, there was like a melting of faces and like, is that what I heard? Glenn?
Yeah, he had dreamed of people dying at his feet, as they came towards him. All the people he knows, his friends, family, melting and dying.
Mentioned something about like a
That's horrific.
silver
Yeah,
shining
it's pretty terrible.
man, like looking at dreams, and it was
So where do these people live?
around. A lot of them were out in the northern farm areas who were talking about it.
Well, and as you're saying that, you hear behind you, I've had bad dreams. Who is this?
Well, you turn around and it's Finnan, who is the stable boy. He is Andrew
yeah.
and Trim's son. He's like 8 years old. And he goes, I've had bad dreams.
What sort of drinks?
Well, I mean, they're not really bad dreams, but he said, Mr. Horsey, and he pulls out this wooden horse that he got from the carpenter. And he says, because, I like horses, and I couldn't find Mr. Horsey. And I went everywhere to find him, and, I always sleep with Mr. Horsey. And so, don't tell anybody because my friends will make fun of me. And so, he's 8. And so, he says, but in my dream, I can't ever find Mr. Horsey. And so I keep looking and looking and looking, and everywhere I go, he's not there. And then I get pretty upset about it. When I start to cry and call out for Mr. Horsey, that's about the time I wake up. And then I realize he's in bed with me, so it's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
Yeah, it makes me really sad.
that doesn't sound kind of like the same type of.
Yeah, you're not sure. Yeah, it doesn't sound very like the same.
That could be his version of like a very dramatic dream. So.
That's probably a good place to end for the night. I don't know what we're doing. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do milestone for stuff. So everybody stays first level, okay? But probably after our next session, you'll be second level. Hey, thanks for tuning in for our first episode of the Saga of Stonegate. If you enjoyed our intro music, it's by a group called Overburden, and the song is Round 2, which seemed kind of appropriate since it's our second podcast involving RPGs. If you enjoyed our podcast and would like to support us, head on over to Patreon and look for Mike the GM. We have several different tiers of support, and one of them actually gives you access to our battle maps. And the highest level tier gives you the battle maps and my Game Master notes. So check us out.